Gary, what can we say about Saturday? Great weather, big crowd, a terrific quality game broadcast on Channel 7, and most importantly, another win ticked off, this time against the reigning premiers, who we hadn't actually defeated in your tenure since being at the helm of the borough overall. And I know you're always hard to please, but that must have been one of the great days you've had at the footy for a very long time.
Yeah, it was, Sammy. I think it's probably one of our best wins for probably 18 months or so. So that always makes it that little bit more sweeter. We're certainly coming up against a formidable opposition, and as you quite rightly pointed out, Footscray had been able to beat us the last 4 times. We're a little bit different now to probably what we have been in the past. Certainly being able to put on a good display when you're being viewed on TV by a wider audience, and I think it's always nice to be part of a really good game, and that certainly lived up to expectations between the 2 top sides, or 2 of the top sides. Certainly from a supporter point of view, it was good to see another great turnout. The weather, as you said, was terrific, and it started off really well with our development team by winning in excess of 100 points over Williamstown as well, and then we were able to, I guess, play our part in it and have a really good win going away in the end.
Despite the fact that there are a few new faces that have come into this team since last year, it certainly seems like it hasn't taken long at all for those guys to gel. And what is really standing out at the moment is the spirit and resilience of this group, because after being down by 20-odd points at one stage in that second quarter, it didn't look overly promising, but boy, did they dig deep.
Yeah, I think certainly we want to know and understand each other's games. I think that's really important, no doubt, and being able to work together as a unit. And you're always going to get guys that have probably played that little bit better on the day, if we use Eli Templeton as an example, because in excess of 30-odd possessions again. But I think what we're able to do is we're actually more solid as a team, and the momentum shifts that we probably experienced last year in quarters, whether it be 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, we certainly seem to be erasing those in a lot of different ways, and the momentum loss is really minimal at the minute. And even though we're 20 points down, I still thought there didn't seem to be any panic, if you like. There still was a degree of composure and calmness, and I think when you're playing a high-pressure game, that contributes to what we would probably say as elementary mistakes, and I think both sides were doing that. And once we changed things up a little bit, we got some impetus out of the centre in the last quarter, and the ruck with Waddell and certainly Khan, and then Khan being able to drift forward, and obviously the ability of our forward line to gel and kick over 100 points for the first time was certainly pretty pleasing.
And it was great to also have the Development League, as you said, put in a much improved performance in their big win over Williamstown, with several terrific individual efforts once again. But that side is probably an additional reflection of just this really exciting and attractive brand of footy being played by everyone at the moment. It must be pleasing for you as coach to see everyone sort of buying into what we're trying to achieve from a game plan and effort point of view, and players playing their role really well in both grades at the moment.
Yeah, it is, and it should give us a little bit more confidence that if we're prepared to hang in there and play our brand of footy, and if we can get the game on our terms, as we obviously did late in that last quarter, that the confidence and just the ability to say, well, our game does stand up under pressure, I think is pretty important for the group. And we as coaches are always tweaking things here and there, but it's really about the buy-in from the players, because they're the ones that got to execute it out on the ground. And certainly both grades, as you said, have been able to, I think, show a real accountability and buy-in, or a real responsibility to making it work. So far it's been pretty good, and obviously there's guys knocking on the door from a development point of view, so that gives me headaches to try and work out what's going to be the best selection going forward, because all we're ever on about is guys that can improve the side.
And this Saturday night we're off on a trip out to Casey, which is always a tough venue and a tough opponent, and specifically a night game down there, which will mean that all bodes for another unique set of challenges for our boys.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's what the VFL now has become, is obviously we try different things, and night games aren't necessarily a new thing, but I think it might have been back in 2010, I think, when we played Casey out there. So we're looking forward to it. We want to keep riding this momentum, obviously, and it is a bit unique with the 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock time slots, but again, there's curtain raiser games on Etihad Stadium, and of course we obviously know the AFL content that's in the VFL now, so we'll just keep hopefully doing the job and getting the business done, and just look forward to again putting out another good performance and keep showing the steps forward, because we're really in a very, very early stage of hopefully building.
Well, Gary, thanks for your time as always. Congratulations on the weekend's win. Let the good times roll.
Thanks, Sam.